Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hi, Rob Tawab La Atam Za'ach Yakam Yawan Manor Chagadol, Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nachamatam Kaya Malakot Hashemayim Kwara, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layam La La Banawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rocha Hakodash Wa Mashana La Zakwanim Nawa Wamalakiam Sharuchakadol, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists Bahasham. In the name Yahweh Shai, delivers in double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Zadwan Sirach, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 20, and we'll get verse 9, and it says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. All right, I'm going to run it back. It says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. All right, let's get a quick precept. This is Thahal Yam, Psalms chapter 28 and verse 3. It says, draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers, with the workers of iniquity. I'm going back because it says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things. All right, Esau Edom. All right, is that man that has good success in evil things. All right, and 2/3 that subscribe to his ways. All right, and essentially, first and foremost, all right, Esau Edom will be the workers of iniquity. All right, the wicked, the so-called white man. All right, and then you have Jake that essentially subscribe, all right, to their ways. But going back, Tahoyam, Psalms 28 and verse 3, it says, draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity. All right, and that word for iniquity, it says, Awan, and it says trouble, wickedness, sorrow. It says idolatry. All right, it says usually in vain, strictly nothingless, mischief, all right, workers of mischief, unrighteous, all right, which is chiefly, again, Esau, Edom. And you got Jake, all right, 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, that essentially subscribe to, bringing misfortune, all right, bringing adverse circumstances, all right, calamities, all right. It says falsehood, all right. So running this back, it says, draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts, all right, because what's ultimately on the mind of Esau, Edom, all right, is to bring forth mischief, all right, that's where they have that good success, all right, in evil things. It says, give them according to their deeds, you see, because the Lord rewards those, he rewards everyone for what they want, all right. If someone wants righteousness, all right, well, they get a righteous reward, all right, the elect. If someone wants wickedness, they will receive a wicked reward, all right, which is going to entail of evils. Eve is a time, it was bad. They're going to receive of bad times in the end of that so-called prosperity, all right, pursuant to Proverbs chapter 1. And we'll get verse 32, and it says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them, all right. And which, those that are turning away will be Jake, you see. But this latter part right here, that prosperity, all right, essentially, both Esau, Edom, and Jake believe as if this little season of what they have is quietness, ease, and prosperity, all right, which it's a false sense of quietness, ease, and prosperity. It's a false sense of abundance, you see, because this word shalwa goes into genuine or false, all right. So it's a false sense of abundance, peace, and prosperity and quietness, you see, because in the end they're going to have to pay for that. All right, so going back to this right here, Psalms 28 and verse 3, then we'll go back to that, Lord, as well. But this is Psalms 28 and verse 4. It says, give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands, render to them their desert. All right, and essentially the Lord is about giving everyone what they deserve, you see, because the Lord is a just power. All right, so everyone is going to get a just reward. All right, that's why that word right here goes into gamal, and it says, or salak, gamawal. All right, and it says dealing recompense, benefit, dealing of one's hand. All right, because everybody's going to receive for the work that they have done. All right. So nevertheless, going back to Sirach 20 and verse 9, it says, there is a sinner that hath good success and evil things. All right, Esau Edom, you see, he has good success, all right, and evil things. All right, and then, you have those that subscribe to his ways. They have good success and evil things, you see, but all right, with the scriptures that we got, all right, that gain, all right, that so-called prosperity is going to turn into a loss. It says in the latter, Sirach 20 and 9, in the latter says, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. All right, so that gain, what seems as if it's a gain, that prosperity is going to turn to a loss, you see, because the Lord requires that which is past. Let's get that real fast. Zakwa, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. And it says, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And the Most High requireth that which is past. All right, so the Lord requires an account for the things that have been done in the earth. All right, whether that be good or whether that be bad. You know, the Lord always requires an account for the things that are done. All right, require, this word for require, it says bakwash, H1245. It says to seek, to require, desire, exact, request. It says to demand. The Lord requires, all right, an answer for the things that are essentially done. It says inquisition, which means to search out. All right, let's get that word for inquisition, Salah. Inquisition, it says a period of prolonged and intensive questioning or investigation. All right, so Lord, again, requires an account, all right, for the actions that everyone commits throughout the earth, you know. So going back to this, let's read this again. Sirach 20 and 9, it says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. All right, so those that essentially are gaining in wickedness currently, hey, that's going to turn into a loss here soon come. All right, Zakwa, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, and we'll get verse 11, and it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So, hey, since judgment is not going out when these people commit these acts, you know, they feel as if they can keep doing it, you know, and then that to them is that gain that gives them that confidence as if they can keep doing it. You see, verse 11 again, it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Hey, so they keep doing it, you know, because they're building up that tab, and they're building up their confidence, you see, and through them building up their confidence, they feel as if they can keep doing it. So they're building up a tab. All right, and that essentially is that gain. All right, but again, it's going to turn to a loss. Verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High. It's not going to be well. It's not going to fare well with the wicked. All right, because again, all right, this thing is about, you know, receiving of the benefits of what you want, you know. So the works that you commit are in society, hey, the Lord is going to essentially, you know, give you the dealing of your hand. All right, that's because again, the Lord is a just power. All right, so if that's good, you know, great, you know, you will receive of a righteous recompense. You see, but if that's wickedness, you know, that's gonna reap up destruction. All right, so going back, Sirach 20 and verse 9, it says, there is a sinner that hath good success and evil things. All right, and there's a gain that turneth to loss. All right, so essentially, you know, those that are being adverse to righteousness, and they're gonna be destroyed. All right, just like it says right here. It says Proverbs 11 and verse 2. It says, when pride cometh, all right, you know, pride goes into a false sense of strength, ga'a or ga'awa. This word right here is salak. This is Zadwan, and it says pride, insolence, presumptuousness, arrogance, you know, which it goes into the same thing, you see. And it's another word for pride. It's ga'a, which means to carry strength. It's a false sense of strength that has someone lifted up in their mind, you see, which makes them carry out these acts such as pride, insolence, and presumptuousness, and also arrogance. All right. But it says, when pride cometh, then cometh shame. All right, because then one will be brought low. All right, let's get this word for shame. And it says Qalwan, and it says shame, disgrace, dishonor, all right, confusion, ignominy, reproach, and shame. You know, because you got two types of shame. You got a righteous sense of shame, which that's good to have a righteous sense of shame, because that keeps us from doing incorrect things, you see. But then you have a negative sense of shame to where one would be doing something incorrect, All right, and that brings that shame that someone shouldn't want to have upon them. All right, because it says shameful deed. It says contempt. Somebody wouldn't want to be known for doing something contemptuous. All right, but it says when pride cometh, then cometh shame. All right, to be brought low. But with the lowly is wisdom. To be in a humble estate, to do what the Lord ultimately is asking us to do, to carry out works of righteousness. All right, that's wisdom. And the scriptures say, the Lord only loves those that dwell with wisdom. All right, and those that are lowly, essentially, they're going to show forth that wisdom. All right, and they're going to be rewarded for essentially, moving wisely. All right, and being humble. But just going back to the point, this right here, Sirach 20:9, it says, there is a sinner that hath good success and evil things. They have that good success, you see, but eventually the end of that success, all right, is going to be shame, all right, pursuant to Proverbs 11:2. Then it says, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. Hey, that gain is going to turn into a loss, you see. So, just wanted to go into that. Adwan Ratazaz about Naya Paulos, where that was a beautiful edification through the spirit. While Adwan Ratazaz, Atam, Yash, Layla, Tawab, Lord's will, you have a good night. Wa shalom lakam, which is peace unto your age. Shalom, shalom.